Alpine has been rightly criticized for their mismanagement and erratic decisions in Formula 1, but them signing Flavio Briatore finally seemed like the move that could put the team in the path of success. Though Flavio Briatore has had a pretty grey past in the sport, what we cannot deny is the fact that he has taken Alpine, which was back then Benetton and Renault, to back-to-back titles with Michael Schumacher and Fernando Alonso. And his signing of Jack Doohan for the 2025 season to pair alongside Gasly finally seemed like the move that could fix the issue that we all had with Alpine's junior driver program. Alpine's driver lineup has always been pretty inconsistent and volatile. I mean, the team has not had the same driver pairing for more than 2 seasons, and since the team's return to the sport as Renault in 2016, it has always had a new driver pretty much for each season. This highlights a major issue with the team. Being a manufacturing team, it needs to set its goals, ambitions, and targets a lot higher than what it is. No other manufacturer team has struggled more than Alpine in the turbo hybrid era. Though McLaren had a far difficult start to the 1.6 turbo hybrid era, they managed to bounce back stronger by securing the Constructors' title in 2024, while Alpine is still struggling to remain as a consistent point scorer. With the team planning to ditch its engine program for the 2026 engine regulation and to become a Mercedes customer team, though it may seem like a practical and a logical solution considering their recent struggles to get up to grips with the regulation and to stay competitive among the other engine manufacturers, it also highlights their lack of confidence and competence to bounce back with the new 2026 engine regulation, especially considering their racing pedigree as an engine supplier in Formula 1. Alpine's driver management or their lack of management has always been a topic of discussion to make fun of. The whole Fernando Alonso and Oscar Piastri saga from 2022 being the perfect example of it. No other team on the grid would have faltered it as hard as Alpine did, with the team losing both its driver at the same time, leaving them with no option from their driver pool to fill the vacant seat for the 2023 season, with the team finally picking Gasly. With Ocon and Gasly now behind the wheel of the car, it finally felt like the team had a bulletproof driver lineup, despite both the drivers having a sour past with one another. They still managed to work together well in 2023 to maximize on the team's result, but as 2024 rolled around, the team once again faced a very similar fate, now losing Ocon. Alpine and Esteban saga. With Pierre in the team, everyone speculated a toxic vibe to ruin the team's performance. But in stark contrast, both the drivers managed to secure excellent results in 2023, barring the Australian Grand Prix. But in 2024, as it turned out, Alpine had severely misjudged the car's development, which sent them to the back of the grid. It was Ocon who really maximized on the package to secure solid results for the team at the early parts of 2024. But as we headed to the Monaco Grand Prix, it became very clear that the dynamic between Ocon and the team has strained to an extent that Alpine were threatening to bench him from the following race after his incident with Gasly on lap 1 at Monaco. See, Ocon being overly aggressive with his teammate is nothing new to us, as we've seen it in the past with both Checo and Alonso. But Alpine has never expressed their disapproval of it back then. But their reaction to what happened at the Monaco Grand Prix clearly showed that Gasly has gained the support of the team and the team was ready to oust Ocon. Alpine's treatment towards Ocon in 2024 was the worst, and I genuinely feel sorry for him for the way he was treated by the team. A driver who played a critical role in securing the team a race win at Hungary in 2021, a driver who has been part of the team through the highs and lows since 2020, axing him a race early and not allowing him to bid his farewell to the team felt really rude and unnecessary. Though I felt Ocon was done dirty by the team, on the flip side, I was excited to see what Jack Doohan could do behind the wheel of the car. It finally felt like the team was giving opportunity to their junior driver that they deserve, adding value to its junior driver program. But are they about to ruin another driver's career? Reports of Alpine's lack of faith in Doohan. Recently, it was announced that Alpine has signed Williams' Franco Colapinto to the team as their new reserve driver, with the idea to swap him with Doohan if his performance is left unimpressed after the first 6 rounds of the 2025 season. It's also being said that Alpine is left unimpressed with Doohan's pace in the test session that was recently conducted. Thus, they decided to hire Colapinto, who was originally the driver the team was keenly focused on when they were planning to replace Ocon for the 2025 season. Franco is also said to be considered as the favorite to replace Doohan if Doohan's performance fails to improve in the first 6 rounds. It's also being said that the team has hired Jack Doohan on a 6-month contract, which I'm sure wouldn't do any good to a driver's mindset and morale, as clearly it displays a lack of faith. The first thing that puts a driver at home is the trust and faith that the team puts on him. But walking into your first season in Formula 1 knowing that the team is not fully confident on your abilities clearly destabilizes the driver, putting unnecessary pressure on him. Why Alpine's driver management looks like a nightmare. I think Alpine needs to improve its driver nurturing skills. When I say this, I mean it's important for them to give their young drivers a sense of comfort, trust and belonging within the team. It's also important to give them the time behind the wheel before chucking them into a full-time seat in Formula 1. It's also important to involve them in the development process of the car, to sign them to different racing championships, to further hone on their skill set, which will ultimately lead them to be more successful in Formula 1. Something we've seen McLaren, Red Bull and Mercedes do. Though most Red Bull drivers fail to meet the expectations of the team, they still end up having a successful career outside the Red Bull ecosystem. Piastri leaving Alpine to sign with McLaren clearly showed his lack of faith and frustration with how he was managed within the team. Alpine is quite brutal with their signings, with how quick they fire them on an instant, which never yields healthy results. For a team to be successful in Formula 1, it's important to have a stable administration and management to steer them in the path of success and excellence, which Alpine clearly lacks. Despite having an open seat for the most parts of 2024 for the 2025 season, no drivers really showed interest in signing for the team, not even Carlos Sainz, who previously drove for the team, which clearly says a lot about the team's reputation within the grid. I hope and wish that Doohan could showcase his potential early doors, as Alpine seems to be prepared to make another brutal call that could ruin a Formula 1 driver's career. Just guys, this is my take on this topic when I heard about it, but let me know down in the comments on what you think of it. I'm curious to know what is your take on it, and also share this video to a friend of yours who is a fan of Alpine or Jack Doohan or Franco Colapinto. That being said, subscribe to For a Win if you haven't already, and make sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed watching this video. And until next time, it's me Vinesh from For a Win, and I'm out. Peace.